One thing I absolutely love is that I can take my King Bee spinning wheel with me really easily on vacation. This was a trip that we had recently taken to Lake Lure, and I decided I wanted to do one of my favorite art yarn techniques, thread ply. Thread ply is one of my favorite ways to spin more of an art type yarn because I think it's very visually interesting. It's definitely super fun to do, but it's also very knittable. First thing you do is spin a single. So you can see my single ply here, and it was just a color changing braid. And then I had to wind it into a ball because I forgot to pack an extra bobbin. So luckily that wasn't a big deal. So I just made like an old school Rapunzel style ball, which then also was convenient with my king bee because the bottom of the treadle has like kind of this little box area that you can put a ball in when I did my two ply. So you can see the ball of yarn on the floor, my thread over on the side on the Lazy Kate, and then it's just a twisting together of the thread and the yarn, which I already spun as kind of a woolen style single. You can see that coming together here. And that makes this really cool, kind of slightly thick and thin, slightly twisty, but still very soft and pliable, easy to knit with yarn. And having the open hook face or a larger orifice on the spinning wheel definitely helps with making this type of yarn and not getting things, stuck or tangled. And you can see that it's really fun. Kind of the more you hold the thread on one side, you can get more little beehives. You can see where I can kind of run the yarn up and down to make beehives, which is another kind of art yarn approach. So you can have thread ply, which is what I'm calling with just the thread making the kind of fun texture in the yarn. But then if I want the beehives, I'm pinching and kind of holding the thread and then purposely running the single ply of yarn up and back on the thread, making kind of like little baubles or beehives. Which, there you go, you can see one right there. If you don't make them overly big, they're definitely still something you could knit with. I think that this yarn would be beautiful in something like my Fisherman's Net Cowl, which is a free pattern for this type of yarn you can find on my website, where you can use one kind of special skein of yarn that's maybe more textured, and then you can make the rest of the cowl out of, scrap yarn or yarn that you may already have in your stash. So that way it can be a bit of a stash buster, but with the loose open knit, it lets you use a yarn that maybe has more interesting, texture or little baubles in it, or even like beaded yarn, and it can really show that off. With any of the SpinOlution wheels, you can check out the King Bee on my website, Feral Scene. You can see different pictures, you can see different ratio guides, as well as reviews, and you can definitely check out and purchase in whatever way best suits your budget, as well as my online courses if you'd like to learn more about art yarn.